T and blast our 2 players, PVZ, to start things off here. And there we have it. So, in the upper left hand corner, we're going to be starting with the purple Zerg player representing Team Gravity. That was the wrong button. It's Blast. And in the lower right hand corner, the red Protoss player representing Vega Squadron, it's Cool T. So see what these guys are going to get up to. Now, you know, King Sager on station, natural, very nice to defend. It's just a single ramp to wall off. It's a fairly wide ramp, but it's still definitely easy to wall off and defend here. And as you move on out, third base, of course, going to be your next target. It's a pretty nice third base to take for Protoss. You know, if you position your army here, as long as you have some kind of vision over here to spot anything trying to sneak into this side of your third, you're okay. And even if something does sneak in, you can definitely punish it by either trapping this exit path or force fielding, because it's very narrow. So altogether, it's a very easy 3 bases to hold for a Protoss player. And of course, the 4th base can be taken in a bit of a forward location as well, and that base too, if it gets to that point of the game. And this base over here is probably the more likely base to be taken for the Zerg. He can take this one or this one. It kind of depends how he wants to play things out. This one, of course, this one's just kind of a little bit more set back. It's a bit harder for the Protoss to just walk straight over here and kill this, but of course that high ground does allow for a bit more of a harassment possibility as well. So let's see what these guys are going to get up to. Let's see how far this game is going to go and see if them extra bases are even going to become a factor here. So we have this first drone just coming into the main base of Cool T. And there's not too much to see. I mean, there's actually just going to... Well, okay, there's a fair bit to see, but not in terms of buildings. He's going to now see the Nexus first coming down, and he immediately knows he can just open with a hatchery first of his own. He's doing that very safely back at home, and he might even go for a free hatch before pool, but no, he doesn't. Pool's already on the way down. So Scouts, he knows what he's up against here. He knows the kind of timings he'll be playing against. It's actually a gateway in the main base too, and just coming up here to check that. So Blast knows exactly what he's playing against here. He knows exactly when the warp gate, or when about the warp gate, will be able to finish, what kind of timings Cool T will be able to hit from this, and he'll know that he's got himself a little bit of extra time before he really needs to invest in too much here, because, you know, his warp gate's going to be delayed. That Nexus came down before the gateway, etc, etc. So down the low, I'm probably going to see the Cybernetics core come down to begin the wall off, and we could still see a forge come down here from Cool T, but it's not really that essential anymore. It kind of depends on what he wants to do. If he wants to go for the later game, he might very well invest in that forge. We actually see 6 Zerglings on the way here, right straight across the map. I'm going to maybe look to go straight into the natural expansion here of Cool T, knowing that there isn't actually any units up just yet. I mean, he could make a Zealot, but even a Zealot can be run by. And of course, this is why after the Nexus first, we do so often see the forge expand. So Cool T just starting to mine here, and 6 Zerglings are on the way across now. This is something Cool T has not spotted. His probe saw it was a hatch first, followed by a pool, but he was not in position to see these Zerglings at all. So he's got no idea that these are coming across now. A single Zealot is on the way out for Cool T, but again, he doesn't really know, and these Lings, they can run around this quite easily. Not just 6 Zerglings now, 10 Zerglings in total coming across the map, and he's going to get into this natural expansion here completely freely. I mean, what is there to stop him? And 2 Zerglings run straight into the main base as well. This Zealot is actually going to start chasing this, and Mothership Core does pop out. That will help to defend this as well, but he might just lose this pylon on the low ground, and would that delay his warp gate? Is that pylon... No, that pylon's not in range. That's going to delay his warp gate here. And he's just going to go for this other pylon over here as well. And this is very annoying. His Mothership Core not moving out to help. And this single Zergling gets... these Zerglings get a pylon here. And this Zealot's going to go down as well. And these Zerglings doing decent damage at the start. I was going to say this Zergling here just got trapped by the probes in the end. That is a decent start, and look at this third base positioning here. Blast just going to throw this down. He is gasless, so he needs a third base, and he is being pylon blocked on his third location. So that's a really nice little move from Cool T here, something which does definitely help him out, because now it's actually very hard for him to defend this base. I mean, a Queen's on the way over, but it's a long journey before the creep gets up, and I think that Queen might even just find herself dying soon. A couple more Zerglings are on the way out, 4 in total. That brings us up to 6 Zerglings once again here. But Mothership Core and the Stalker, I think I think this queen might be in trouble. He's going to start fighting here, and he gets a little bit of extra damage from the Stalker onto that. That will help the Mothership Core take that down, and that will give the Mothership Core free reign over this base for now, until another queen gets over here, which will be in quite some time. There's not one heading over just yet, and in fact that was only his second queen. This Stalker is going to get away, so some damage going to come down on this third base, and that will make it a little bit easier to be picked off as the game goes on. But he's actually just going to back off here, and I guess fair enough, the other queen is coming, and that's just a good game sense timing there from Coolty, realising, his other queen probably on the way, don't really want to get my Mothership Core in too much trouble, I need this, I need the energy on it, and he's now got another gateway on the way. He's adding on another gateway too. He's just going up to 3 gates as he adds on his forge as well. And +1 is on the way out. This Overlord spots a couple of gateways coming down in the main base. Not really too much you can tell from this. The warp gate will now finish in the next 20 seconds or so after this initial delay from losing the pylon. And this pylon will be cleaned up as well, so the third base isn't, the normal third base location is now accessible for Blast, so that he can take a fourth base probably as soon as he spots this third base of his opponent right now. He's gotten, again, not really too much to worry about with this fast third base, considering that Coolty lost a couple of pylons early on. There's nothing that he can really hit with. 4 gateways aren't really going to do it, +1's not exactly just coming out that quickly, and Coolty continuing to scout here. Our Zerg player also scouting with this Zerg, and he does see this third base now, so he can start thinking about that. Loses the Mothership Core. He can now start thinking about that fourth base. He starts up his lair. He's got a couple of other things he can invest into right now, though, of course. Gets his signal speed about to finish up, and starts to take his fourth gas as well. So, cancels the robo facility here. Interesting. I wonder what his plan is, or what his plan was with that robo facility to make him cancel it. His Twilight Council has finished, and Twilight Council, of course, not only allows the +2 to continue, but we'll probably see a blink out of that, and that really will help with defending this third base, and having blink up's always very nice against any kind of potential Mutalisk play, considering he does not have a Stargate up to deal with that, so... Evolution Chamber coming down for Zerg player. Again, he's not... okay, he has started up that fourth base, so wasn't really rushing to get that, but puts it up as a response to the third. Starts his Evolution Chamber now, so he can start his upgrades. His lair's finished, so maybe we'll see a Hydra Den. We could see a Spire, I guess. It kind of depends what kind of game he wants to play here, so... To him, we're waiting for that tech choice right now. These Lings with Speed are now out. They force a couple of force fields out of the Pros player, but not too much of an issue. And a new Mothership Core does just come out. An Infestation Pit comes down here straight away. And this is spotted by Coolty. He moves in, he clicks on that, he knows exactly what he's up against. And an Infestation Pit, alongside Roach Speed and Roach Missile attacks, well, this could be, I suppose it could be Swarm Hosts on this map as well, especially. Swarm Hosts are so viable. We've seen it so often, especially with this base already taken, you plop your Swarm Host here and boom, you just continue to rally straight downwards. See what upgrades are going to come out of this Infestation, but it could just be a rush to Hive. But if he rushes to Hive, he doesn't have a Hydra Den, he's just on pure Roaches, so expecting this Infestation Pit to be for some kind of tech here, as the Robo Facility now does come down, Blink +2, almost finishing up, and there's that Enduring Locust, so Swarm Host play on the cards for the start of this best of 7. A lot of queens here, wow. Is that all of his queens on the map? No, all but one. All coming out here, so neglecting his injects to just come and spread creep. So really wants to be very aggressive. You might say, what's more important, injects or creep? And 9 times out of 10, or probably even more than that, it's going to be your injects. You want to be able to make units, but here... Blast is saying, I want to get out on the map with my Swarm Host as soon as possible. I want to be able to push forward ASAP. And that's why I'm going to spread creep just now. However, we see Coolty moving out. Oh, he's going to get himself bits around. He recalls here immediately, realizing he cannot take this fight. And falls back now to his third base. Robobay and a second Robo Facility on the way. He does need that Colossus count to build up as fast as possible. Coming over to this right-hand side of the base now. Blast is going to try and maybe break through. These rocks to the right-hand side. This Mothership Core, it was remade, and is just, I suppose, just going to sit over here just to watch for any kind of progression of creep maybe, but also just see any kind of attacks incoming. And Coolty isn't actually able to catch anything here. Okay, well, he does blink forward and forces a fight. Force fields now do start to come down, but they're not really the best, and there's a slight hole in the force fields as well. However, Roaches are dying, I suppose, and now they aren't able to retreat as that force field wall is closed off. So nice trade here initially. Mothership Core spots Queens and these swarm hosts starting to move forward. So he knows what's up, and he's now going to refocus his attention to this side of the map. Now, first two Colossi are coming up here, and these are absolutely essential to dealing with these locusts, which are going to be hitting forward here. Roaches to the right-hand side will try and do a little bit more damage, and they definitely can. I mean, without much to defend over here, they could pick off a pylon, 2 pylons before anything really happens. As the first Colossi comes out, and uses a bit of health on it, but altogether he is pretty much safe now. 2 Colossi out, and he will keep on building up these Colossi numbers as these swarm hosts actually do back off just a little bit here. Not too comfortable being this aggressive with them, maybe. Right now, Roach is falling back as well. It looks as though he's just lifting them up in case the Protoss army does move forward. And so he can get a quick retreat. And now that he's ready to spew locusts again, he'll probably burrow once more, send a wave, and unburrow once again. So Roach is once again to this right-hand side, trying to attack here. We actually see a Spire has just finished up here for our Zerg player. Hive on the way too, as well as +2, +3 finished for our Protoss though, or at least will be in a couple of moments. More force field energy being used just to ward off these locusts for now. Doesn't want to engage them straight up just yet. Again, his Colossi count continues to rise here up to 4. And these roaches still just sitting to the right hand side. Again, just frightening a counterattack and making Guilty think, this kind of attack is a possibility, and I cannot forget about that. Moving forward with the whole army here, and these swarm hosts, are they a bit too far forward? Well, they're going to be able to hide behind the locusts essentially. And just falling back now, but this is really nice push out for Coolty, as he's now going to be able to start cleaning up some creep, and this really limits the kind of area in which the swarm hosts can come out to. And a lot of this creep is going to come down before the next locust wave is out and pushing this army backwards. And this was a nice move by Coolty here. 5th base now being established for his Zerg player. Really just making advantage of his advantage here. The fact that he can just sit back and trade with these locusts in front. Coolty's still out on the map now. A lot of Corruptors have just been made, 14 in total, and they are going to come forward here and try and get these Colossi. Now, there's a lot of Colossi. How quickly are they going to go down when one is going to fall here fairly quickly? Now, this wave of Locusts is falling quite quickly too. The Queens are all going down. The Corruptors are being targeted down as well. All the Colossi will die, though, and this means that this next wave of Locusts is going to be very, very deadly here. Coolty, is he going to fight it? No, he is not. He's just going to retreat behind a force field, but he's only got one, so he's going to lose a few units on his way out. And the Colossi count reset here. However, so was the Corruptor count. So this wasn't Coolty didn't lose everything in this, but it definitely wasn't the best trade for him. Colossi, of course, something he just has to remake to be able to continue dealing with these Locusts. And the fact he has to remake more Colossi at this point could very well delay any kind of further tech he may have wanted to go for. Maybe a switch into Templar Archives, get Storm out, for example, something like that. As, what's this? Just another wave of Locusts coming across. We did just see a bunch of Roaches being made, and it looks as though Blast is going to use these to move to the left-hand side, try and attack into this fourth base maybe. Blast has quite the bank built up here. I'm kind of surprised he didn't really remake any more Corruptors. I mean, I guess he doesn't know for sure that more Colossi are going to come out. But I suppose as soon as he sees these Colossi, as soon as he loses some of these Roaches, but he will get a cancel on this fourth base, but as soon as he does lose some of them, he'll probably remax on Corruptors. Because again, these Colossi count is beginning to come up once again here. Roaches again, not really that effective at this kind of point in the game. He just built these as a bit of kind of sudden defense, something that builds quickly, and he got his worth out of them. He managed to cancel his fourth base, which I mean is a bad thing for Coolty. He really needs economy right now. Colossi in a bit of an interesting position, but all these Roaches do get cleaned up here. It's a lot of Roaches to just throw away, and you can see this units lost tab is closing up a little bit. But does not want to fight into these Locusts just yet. Stalkers blink away though. He's going to check for a base up here. And after seeing no base, he will just retreat back and probably join up with his Colossi once again, as a base being established in the forward position as well now. Swarm hosts, and there's the Corruptor Remax as well. Moving forward. All of these looking to just attack forward and probably try and get a cancel on this base if he knows about it. I suppose he doesn't see it just yet. He's clicking up here for something though, so it's very possible he'll check for that in a moment. Just wants to try and get over and cancel this base right now. The Locusts aren't going to have too much life left on them by the time they get here though. What's happening over here? Not too much. A wall of Spine Cores deflects any kind of attack, so this wave of Locusts doesn't do too much. And now this wave of Locusts is maybe a bit out of position as it's to the left hand side. A lot of Colossi take these down very, very quickly, of course. These Corruptors in the sky. One Colossi is going to go down almost for free here, but the Stalker's blink forward and the Colossi doesn't go down in the end. And here we're going to have this fight once again as the Stalkers are targeting down the Corruptors. The Colossi take down all of the Locusts here. And Cruelty looks to be breaking through right now. He blinks forward again. And these Swarm hosts, they unburrow, they back off just a little bit. Cruelty doesn't feel like he can continue this and backs off. 2 more Colossus on the way. And 9 more Corruptors for our Zerg players. So going to just look to continue this... just continue this composition. He got a Great Aspire up, and it may very well be that he invests in some Broodlords with his next kind of round of gas. This base finally established for Cruelty, and this one down here as well. So this is nice. He's finally going to get this economy which he's needed for a little while. You know, his main base is mined out. His natural is on the way, so he's got these up in time. And Blast has already been building a bank though. And Swarm hosts are going to burrow here once again. And again, just Cruelty just taking his time, making sure to clean up the creep wherever he can. And the more creep he cleans up, the better, of course. So coming forward, he's going to lose a Colossi. 1, 2, 3 Colossi. Okay, just the 2 to these Corruptors. And blinking forward with the Stalkers, he picks off a few Corruptors, but not really too many. And Cruelty was just paying attention for a little bit. Just not quite enough just then. And that's not really a sentence, but okay. More Locusts again just coming forward, and we finally see the Psionic Storm coming up here, 22 minutes in this game. And Templars is going to be a big addition to this army. The ability to storm over the Locusts to really push back a wave a little bit faster and then push forward with his army. Storms on the Corruptors are going to be very important as well, of course. And blinking forward here immediately, these Colossi, they need to run the other way, but they're going to come forward to deal with the Locusts. And this is just a straight up trade, and again these Corruptor numbers, they do continue to fall. Another blink forward. Needs to be careful because these Swarm hosts are just here Queen's transfusion as well. And these Stalkers do blink backwards, but again our Colossi count is really starting to dwindle now, and 9 Broodlords on the way. So the anti-air is basically gone here for Blast. But he's going to have so many more free units. He's going to have so much more just damaging on the ground. And, I mean, these Colossi, again, the Colossi count coming up, maybe the Storm will save him here. If he can get a few good Storms off on the Broodlings, on the Locusts, and push forward with that momentum that it creates, maybe you can do something here, but it's really, really hard. I mean, he's actually just out of money compared to Blast's big bank, and, well, Swarm hosts move forward, and do start to produce Locusts once again here. And they're going to come up. A couple of Corruptors maybe getting a little bit too far forward. There's 4 Colossi here, and again, this time there isn't anything to take these down. There's no big amount of Corruptors or anything like that. So he is able to deal with these units on the ground quite easily, and we do see a blink forward here. Broodlords are going to start going down. Storm's coming down as well. That's going to hit the Locusts, and this is Cruelty's opportunity. This is what he needs. He needs to push forward with this, and he's going to take out most of the Broodlords and most of the Swarm hosts as well. This is absolutely huge for him, as the 23 Mutalisk Green Masks is going to come out, but all of these Swarm hosts die, and that is going to spend all of Blast's bank, and Cruelty can continue to move forward here to do a little bit more damage, but can he deal with this huge amount of Mutalisks, which is going to come up next from his opponent? A single infested here, having to back off. It doesn't have fungal growth just yet. It doesn't. Pathogen glands was not researched. A few Swarm hosts are remaining here, and again the big question is going to be, how are these Mutalisks going to do? And they're going to probably come straight towards this army. I mean, there isn't that much anti-air here. Only a handful of Stalkers, and now the Mutalisks are spotted. They're pre-splitting as well, just in case of these storms. Locusts coming in from behind, getting a couple of the Templar. There's one storm though, and it hits a good chunk of them Mutalisks. And wow, Blast is going to get turned away, and Cruelty keeps a lot of his army alive here. Archons are going to help him buffer against this new composition very, very nicely. Lings and Mutalisks, they're just not that great. Unupgraded Lings as well, they're just going to absolutely melt here. And these Mutalisks, you can see that he just cannot engage with them. And I mean, it's a scary number, but it's just not scary enough. They don't have upgrades, they're only on 1-0. They're going up against free Protoss units, and they're just not enough. And coming back here, again, these Lings on the ground, they just melt. And these Mutalisks, they're going to come in. Are they going to be able to clean this up? I don't think so. At least if they do, it's not going to be cost efficient. And you can see here, if more Stalkers coming in, it's not cost efficient at all. And they just have to back off. More Mutalisks on the way, and Cruelty found a way to break through. And what a fantastic play by him. I mean, I really thought things were looking to be lost for him. He needed that one fight. He needed just the storms, the one fight to push forward. and then win from there, and that's exactly what he's doing right now with a 50 supply lead. Blast doesn't have enough gas to really make anything else. Warping into the right hand side is Coolty. A base being established to the left hand side, but a single zealot does spot this, and Coolty spots the army over here as well, so this is going to be an opportunity for him to move forward and take out this base here, maybe even these swarmers if his Blast is not careful. He's okay, he's going to get out of there, so we just now start seeing a counterattack here from Blast, and this is very important. This is something I think he maybe even should have done straight away. I don't think he really could, was it? I mean, initially when I saw 25 minutes, I thought, yes, he can kill this army, but when you think about the upgrades, he really couldn't. So base trading is maybe something he should have thought about doing a long time ago here, and this is exactly what we're going to see now, as a few zealots are sent over to cancel this base, and these Colossi and Stalkers are all just going to come forward here, going to try and chase the drones down. I assume the Swarmers are actually in the back here as well. They're going to go down. Bunch more spine crawlers being made. Where are the Mutalisks? They're flying around. They're a bit indecisive as to what they actually wanted to start doing again, as a bunch of probes are long distance mining now. Oh, a couple of Archons just morph in time. It takes them so long to just kill off these Archons though. Throwing overcharges here slowly will work away. And some cannons are about to finish up here as well, which means, I mean, he cancels a lot of them, and he actually gets the pylon that was powering them. So, I mean, Coolty's continuing to push forward though. There is some drones. There was some drones. Where have they gone? I'm not too sure. Maybe they've been cleaned up. I'm not too sure where them drones have gone, but either way, Coolty's continuing to press forward here. Now blinking into this main base, and he's going to look to do what Coolty's still got long distance mining coming in from over here, and he's still got all of his pylons and a fair few of his gateways as well, so he can continue to warp in Stalkers, or maybe even High Templar to morph into Archons might be the better option right now, as this Spire is not going to be finished researching +2, and this Hive is going to go down as well here. Spire goes down now, and these Mutas are just attacking this third base, and this third base will fall, and again, this isn't really unexpected per se. This base now spotted by some probes as well. So I mean, Coolty, he's finding the buildings, and he's got so many buildings just still up. These Mutas, I just don't think it's enough for them. I mean, these patches are literally built in front of the Protoss player, and I mean, what can Blast do? He's lost everything. He's now this pylon's over here. And I'm not sure if Blast will know about that. I'm trying to check his vision. Okay, so he knows about this pylon here. All these are going to maybe try and get this Nexus. I mean, the pros have enough money to build another Nexus if he wants one. Colossi are coming across here. A few Swarmers are picking away. A couple of Zealots already on this hatchery. Muta's going after all of the Nexuses here. So he is just going to go for the Nexuses. But I mean, at this point, if Coolty just builds a Nexus here and just sits here with his army, I think he wins this game. I mean, he could just mine. He's got a very strong number of probes still. Still got 25 workers now. That is starting to fall rapidly as these finally we see these Mutas killing off some of them. But still just scouting around with probes looking for buildings. This hatchery is over here, and that is actually the only remaining hatchery right now. As some Stalkers blowing forward, and Mutalisks are going to take some damage. Oh, loses 2 of them. Oh, the Archons from behind, and that was actually a really sick move, whether it was intended or not, by Coolty, as he gets a lot of damage on these Mutas, and he has to run away now. Cannot safely just stay there and continue fighting. A single probe is found by a Zergling over here, and I mean, what else has Blast got? He's got 1 drone left. Where is his last drone? There it is. This last drone is here. It's actually spotted by this probe. So Coolty sees that. He actually hides his probe up there. He's got 7 workers left. These Mutalisks are on the probe hunt, it would seem. This drone's going to go down. A blink forward should be able to get that. And there it goes. Mutalisks are going to come in and engage on these Stalkers. Coolty, does he have... He's got a couple of powered gateways. He could, again, still just warp in a couple more units if he would like to. A pylon is found here. Probes find this base over to this side. A couple more drones are going to be made, and they're going to get rallied away. But, I mean, slowly, Blast is running out of money. This probe still survives to the top. It's not spotted, and the drones versus probes is actually taking place here. As they're maybe going to go down though. Blink forward. That drone should be the target, really. In fact, okay, Blast just GG's. I was going to say, in fact, what's Coolty doing? He was in a bit of a move command for a moment, but He could have just targeted down that hatchery and that would have been it. There's nothing Blast could do. And eventually here, we see Cruelty coming out victorious against Blast. But what a fantastic game to start things off with. A long one. A Swarm Host game that wasn't really boring though. You know, it was interesting from start to finish. It was just action-packed and go, go, go. So, great game number 1, and Vega Squadron take the 1-0 lead in this best of 7 all-kill clan war. That means that map number 2 will be selected by Gravity. They will select the player to go up against Cruelty here, and we'll see who they're going to be picking here in the next few moments' time. So we're going to get into that next game as soon as we can, guys. We're just going to run a quick commercial break because quite often it does take a little bit of time for teams to pick their player and pick their map and set up the lobby. We're probably going to have to change server as well. So, don't go too far. This is the SC2 Improved Team League. When you're in our little commercial break, you can spend some time maybe checking out our website, for example, SC2Improved.net, seeing all the upcoming SC2 Improved Team League matches, where they're being streamed, and all our articles as well. So do check that out, SC2Improved.net, in this little break while we set up game number 2 between Vega Squadron and Gravity. Hey guys, welcome back to SC2 Improved Team League Season 2. We are currently in Vega Squadron versus Gravity. We're getting into our second game here in just a few moments' time. And we should be starting this up as soon as possible. We've got our map. It's going to be Frost for PVT. Vega Squadron's Cruelty just won a PVZ against Blast on King Sejong Station, and now his PVT is going to be tested against Raynor from Team Gravity. So, just waiting for Raynor to accept, and as soon as he does, we'll be able to get going with game number 2. How is everyone in the chat doing? Who are you guys supporting here today? It's always great to see quite a few people watching the stream, despite what's going on tonight. I think there's Fragbite Masters on. There is more than just Fragbite Masters on. There is there's Nation Wars, maybe, I think. Always good to know. Alright, well, we're going to be getting into this game. Excuse me for my lack of concentration momentarily. Just got a message from someone that I had to read, so sorry about that, but we are now ready to get into this game. It is PVT, it is Frost, it is Cruelty versus Raynor as part of Vega Squadron versus Gravity. Are you guys ready? Let's see who's going to take map number 2. Are Gravity going to even things up 1-1, or Vega Squadron going to take things off to a 2-0 start? So, let's get into this. We're on the loading screen right now. Now, if you guys are wondering what exactly the standards are currently looking like, you can head on over to the Liquipedia page at wiki.teamliquid.net/StarCraft2. I'll put a link in the chat probably. If Moobot was working, it would always help, but Moobot doesn't help. If you just go on Liquipedia and if you go on Liquipedia and you just search just SC2 Improved Team League, you'll be able to find it. But basically, for these two teams, it's really important that Gravity get a win here, because Vega Squadron are a top team. They're currently undefeated. They're currently 3-0. This match was meant to be played last week, so if they win tonight, they'll be 4-0, undefeated up till week 5. So, yeah, so Vega Squadron really, it's really important for Gravity to take these guys down, because they started off with, they're currently 1-2. So if they lose, it goes down to 1. They're then 1-3, and it's going to be really tough for them to fight back in the overall standings. It's it's really kind of tough situation for them. But if they take down Vega, it's such a great opportunity, because not only do they pull back themselves, but they pull back against one of the strongest teams in the group. So Gravity with Raynor here In the upper right hand corner of Frost, the purple Terran player. Going up against Vega Squadron's Coolty, and again, Vega Squadron, they want to stay undefeated, you know, they want to get the best they're a team who are looking for the best possible finish in the group to get as far as possible in the playoff stages. So they are really looking to just perform well here and you know, keep on picking up these teams, especially against Gravity, who right now seem to be one of the weaker teams in the group at least. So that being said, last week Gravity pulled off a 4-3 victory against Cascade, and Cascade are a phenomenal team. Last season they came second in the SC2ITL. So Gravity really are a team who can fight with the best. And although Cascade aren't doing so great this season, they're still one of the best teams in the league. And if they can beat Cascade, they can definitely beat Vega Squadron, and they really do need it here today. So let's see what happens. We have a 12 racks, 12 gas, maybe? Yes. Yes. Maybe 11 racks, 11 gas. I'm not too sure. I think it was 12-12. But either way, it's a Reaper opening, and a very standard opening against Protoss players, of course, in TVP. Open Reaper, get that scouting off, especially here on Frost. It's a great map for it. So many places you can jump in, jump out, do whatever you want to do. So, it's always good. As this says, if you just come into the top left here, and going to just scout around and see what is up. So he's going in the wrong direction. He's not going to find this Protoss player straight away, which is kind of a good thing actually, because if he scouts wrong with his SC, well, I mean, it doesn't really make a difference. I mean, it would be better if he saw him straight away so he knows exactly where the Reaper should be going, but as it stands, the Reaper's going to, in this situation, end up in the right place anyway. So Raynor, he's going to be able to head straight down to here with his Reaper. The probe, which was on its way across the map to scout, got picked off. And this Reaper is going to jump in here in a couple of moments, but Mothership Core already in position. Oh, not quite moving straight away there, so Reaper gets in a little bit further than it maybe should. And Probe pulling array right now just to survive, and this Reaper will just jump out and head on away right now. So, we have a robotics facility coming down now in the main base, and it's a fairly standard open, I suppose. Single gate, expand into a robo facility. Just going to get an observer out nice and quickly, and probably head into Colossus base play, as I see 2 more barracks coming up here for Raynor. He's got a reactor already down as well. And he's probably pulled out of gas for a little while at some point too, which I didn't quite pick up on. Otherwise he'd have way more than he has right now. So Single Reaper still just going to stay at the front again, not really too much he wants to do just yet. Has he already seen the robo facility? No, he has not, so that's something he'll be looking to try and get information about in the next few moments, you know, maybe about half a minute or so, about the 6-minute mark, try and figure out what's going on, and if he still can't find out what's going on, then he can throw down a scan to try and get that extra information. Single sentry at the front here, and infest in these sentries early, build up the energy nice and quickly. Can also, if he really wants to, get a hallucination out, but not really that common. Observers on the way, and I'll be able to do all the scouting which Coolty needs to do in the early stages of this game, and this Reaper's going to do all the scouting that Raynor needs to do. Robo facility, 2 more gates spotted, knows exactly what's up. He even sees here that it was an observer coming out there, because he saw the if he was paying attention, he saw the robo facility finish producing, probably would have seen the blur of the observer too, so can't tell if he knows that for sure, but he has a pretty good read here if he was paying attention. Here is this first move out of Terran units here, of course, 9 Marines, 1 Marauder, looking to pick off not pick off anything, but looking to force out and Photon Overcharge here. And if Photon Overcharge isn't forced out, then at least pick off a unit or 2 maybe, depending on how well prepared Coolty is. So this move out very, very standard. Excuse me, for some reason tapped out there. So pretty standard move out here, and these sentries are actually just going to come up onto the high ground. Photon Overcharge is, well, these units are a little bit out of position. He blocks off here, and, well, I can't help but feel Coolty messed that up just a little bit. He lost one of his sentries, and he will kill off all of these units. He loses another sentry, though, so he loses a couple of sentries, uses all of his force fields, and uses a Photon Overcharge as well. That's definitely a worthwhile trade here for Raynor. He right now has to stay up in this top right hand corner with the rest of his units as he continues to build them up. Now his factory is finished, he's going to start a starport as well here. Stim is about to finish as well as Double Forge comes down for Cruelty, so he's just going to go into this big upgrade play and just start getting that upgrade advantage which we see pretty much all the time in PvT. Interesting for 9 minutes in the game not to have a single engineering bay there. One does come down now, but generally feel like that could have maybe come down a bit earlier, maybe sooner to this time the factory came down. Either way, we currently see a bunch of units coming across the map. Haven't we already seen this Reaper die? Okay, well that unit's lost obviously doesn't work, but ooh, nice pick off, gets the observer. Now this army is revealed its position here. There is another Photon Overcharge available. Of course, if he uses this Photon Overcharge now, then he doesn't have a Photon Overcharge available to help him defend from drops, and that can put Cruelty into a bit of a tough spot as a stim pack in is going to do a fair amount of damage, picks off a sentry, a single force field comes down to try and deflect. And at the same time, I think this Reaper jumped into the main base and got a perfect scout off Soar's. Well, got a scout from the main base quite nicely, but there wasn't much to see there as his upgrades are going down on the low ground. Looks as though the rest of the Marines did die off here. And Cruelty adds on a bunch more gateways. Right, well. Interesting. He's going up to what now? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, he's just going up to 7 gateways with 1 blink and a robo bay. So probably just going to look to take a third base. I mean, this is way too late to get any kind of T-base timing going here. And more units continue to come across the map as the third base completes for Raynor in position. First medevac should be popping out here in a few moments, and that will enable Raynor to start with this drop play. Units lost so far pretty even. Pretty nice for the Terran player, of course, as he's always going to be getting that faster third base up. So nice to be trading against them sentries, etc. with the bio units and forcing them overcharges out. Look at this though, pylon coming up, and this could enable a little bit of a counterattack here from Cruelty at some point in the game, whether it be now or in a little while, as Blink is about to finish up as well from this Twilight Council, and +2/+2 should be able to start fairly soon. First 2 medevacs, were they spotted? I think they were spotted if Cruelty was paying attention, and that looks as though he's exactly what he's maybe moving position for. It looks as though, yes it is, as 3 Stalkers here and a couple of sentries will be able to start fighting these. And them 2 medevacs turn around instantly, but now going to head towards the main. And Cruelty isn't quite prepared for this. His blink is only just now about to finish, so these units are going to pop off here. And oh my god, he's going to lose the robo facility. There's absolutely nothing to defend this here. And this robo facility goes down, and now he's not going to have any Colossi coming out, and a job going to come down on the third base too. This is really bad right now. I mean, what does Cruelty do? He's going to be able to force this medevac away. Yes, he's got Blink to continue forcing it away as well and really make sure it actually just goes away completely. There's a couple of units in his main base which he has to deal with right now. But the worst thing is he just doesn't have any tech. He doesn't have a robo facility, which means he doesn't have Colossi, and now he has absolutely no splash damage for such a long time in this game. It really enables the Terran player to do so much, as these little group of units even gets another probe. And this group of units is going to run straight into the Protoss army here. Is he going to get a blink to get the medevac? Yes, he does. And that's nice. The medevac, the real key factor to picking off anything here. As two Marauders and a Marine still left in that main base will actually just get cleaned up eventually by the Mothership Core here. So, Raynor has been doing a good job so far. Now, the supplies are fairly even, but the lack of any kind of Colossi on the field at all is really a scary prospect right now. The Robo facility has, I believe, finished up. Yes, it has. But now he's supply blocked while trying to create his first Colossi. Okay, well, it was only for a slight moment. But still, he needs this out as soon as possible here. Now, oh my god, Raynor doesn't have any units, and if Cruelty knew about that, he may just go in and attack with his 2-2. I mean, the thing with Raynor's been doing is, yes, he's been trading well, but he's really been trading, and I mean, he's been losing his units straight up. He's not been retaining them at all. He's lost both his medevacs for his first 2 drops. He lost his first attack. He lost his, did he go for a second attack? I can't now. I can't remember what kind of cast am I. But you know, he's been losing his units. He hasn't been retaining them. If he'd got in here, picked off that robe and got out, that would have been fantastic. And I mean, as it stands, it's not going to matter. He's got the time now to build up a few more years. But it looked for a moment as though if Cruelty had moved in, Raynor might have had a hard time holding on. A scan comes down to reveal the composition. Temple Archives, I believe, I just saw on the way up. Maybe I'm just imagining things once again. Yes, I am. So no Temple Archives just yet. And Reno still very far behind in his upgrades. He's still on 1-0, while 2-2 is finished for our Protoss player. And that is something Coolty can definitely rely upon for a lot of this game as the Viking count continues to rise here. Ghost Academy coming up as well, and a 4th command center on the way. I mean, Reno really getting into the stride in terms of the macro game, but again, that upgrade advantage is something which will always be there for the Protoss player. And I mean, an upgrade advantage is an upgrade advantage. It's very, very strong. As another Pylon comes up over here. Pylon's over here as well to maybe come and harass this 3rd base. A little bit of that would definitely not go amiss once this army begins to move out. A few Zealots, maybe he's actually going to warp in a couple of Stalkers. Also nice because it denies the mine from the high ground. But look at this, just as we see the Stalkers warp in, we see a bunk and a couple of turrets being added on here. So, I mean, really just preparing for that eventuality. But, you know, that bunker's not really the best against any Zealots kind of harassing the gas units over here, the gas SCVs. So, there's that to think about as 4th base does begin to move out here, and Coolty also moving out as well. His 3-3 is halfway done. He's got a few Colossi in. He's warping in a couple of Templar to make an Archon. Again, he doesn't have much splash damage here, but he does have a lot, and I mean a lot of upgrade power in this army. And does he have any force fields? I don't think so. Right now, we just see Reno is just kiting back as the 2 Colossi go down very, very quickly. And Coolty is in a little bit of trouble, I think. These Vikings are going to land. These are all going to go down. Coolty's getting more Zealots in here to help him tank a little bit. And he continues to trade. Another Colossi coming in. And now all the Vikings are dead. But EMP's coming from the high ground. He's going to back off to his warp-in point. And, I mean, actually, Reno can't continue to come forward. These Stalkers are here. And there wasn't anything in that bunker. And now he's losing a few units. And these Stalkers are going to blink away here. He should maybe get that bunker on his way out. It's continuing to burn here. But look at this, moving forward at the same time. Coolty again looking for a pick-off. He's going to try and get the CC, and if he gets that CC, it'd be huge. It's burning down. It's on 30 health. Is Reno going to react in time? At the same time, these Stalkers are attacking over here. And oh no, the CC. 10, 5. It's going to die. He's going to die. He's losing his 4th base. And Coolty, this is absolutely huge for him as he establishes his own 4th base while sitting in a very aggressive position. His 3-3 finishes as well now. 3-3 against 2-1. But there are ghosts out, and that will, and them EMPs can absolutely just layer across the Protoss army, and really, really weaken it a bit. 3 Marauders now left over here to deter any more Stalker attacks. Scan coming down. He sees another Colossi added in. He doesn't really have a Viking count anymore. He landed his Vikings in that first fight, and really, he maybe should have just disengaged after taking down the Colossi. That being said, 4 Vikings at a time being made. Oh my god, these Stalkers actually just trade against these Marauders, no problem. A couple more Marauders now coming in to help out, and these Stalkers are just going to trade once again. Nice blink control, and Coolty retains these Stalkers again just to come in and harass a little bit later on, continuing to build up this army. Still doesn't have Storm available to him. He has not researched that. Starts up his +1 shields upgrades. Where is his Templar Archives? Over here. And yeah, still no Storm. A single Colossi taking a little bit of damage here. Blink forward to try and pick off some of these Vikings. Takes a lot of damage on his Stalkers though. The Zealots are not really in the best of positions right now. The EMPs are all gone. They've all been used. And these Colossi need to continue moving forward, I think, to help out. I mean, that being said, there's not really any Vikings, and there's not really much at all here. These Zealots continue to chase. They're going to wrap around. Colossi will go down here, but that doesn't really matter at this point, I don't think, because there's just not enough bio units to clean up the Zealots even here of the Protoss. And GG called. Coolty takes a 2nd map in a row for Vega Squadron, and wow. Wow. That game didn't look like it should have been his. I mean, from the start, he took damage, and he just made it work. Amazing. Wow. So Coolty takes a 2nd victory, and actually when we look at this, I'm going to bring up the score screen here. Reno with a supply cap of 2 minutes and Coolty of 20 seconds, and considering Reno really was trading well, he really did have an economy advantage with his 3rd base coming down so quickly. He was only behind in the upgrades. That supply block could very well have been the difference between maybe winning that first fight and actually losing it like he did. So it's kind of really brutal that may be what affects him here. Coolty takes the 2nd map here against Gravity, and Vega Squadron sit at a 2-0's lead as we're going to get into map number 3 as soon as possible, guys. We're going to be getting the player and the veto out of Gravity in the next few moments, so we're going to take a quick commercial break while that happens, put a bit of music on. We'll be back here very, very soon. It shouldn't be too long, but it does take a little bit of time to get that player and that veto. So enjoy the music, guys. While you're waiting, while you're not got anything else to do consider maybe checking out our Twitter at twitter.com/SC2_improve. Follow us to see when we go live with all of our events in the future. So guys, don't go too far. It says SC2 Improve. Welcome back to the SC2 Improve Team League. We're heading into game number 3 between Vega Squadron and Gravity. Up next for Gravity, currently 2-0 down, looking for a Protoss player to bring them back, is going to be Space Marine going into a PvP against Cruelty on Habitation Station. So the Danish Protoss player coming up next here for Gravity against the Russian Protoss player of Cruelty. So Vega Squadron in a very strong position right now, and their lineup behind Cruelty is actually pretty scary. I mean, they've got Johnny Rico they could call upon, they've got Dana they could call upon, they've got Live Zerg, their new pickup, to call upon. Like, their lineup is so scary right now that being 2-0 up from their starting player is really fantastic for them. So we will see what happens here, and we'll see whether Vega Squadron will continue their streak in this game and put themselves on match point, or whether Space Marine is going to be able to bring it back a map for Gravity, our North American based team. Alright, we're going to load this up, set the score, and we are going to be set. So in the lower upper right hand corner we've got the red Protoss player representing Denmark, representing Team Gravity most importantly here. It's Space Marine. And in the upper left hand corner the pink Protoss player from Vega Squadron, it's Cruelty. On a roll right now. Can he keep this up? Can he go for the all kill maybe? No, he's halfway there, half the damage done. See this pylon coming up in the main base of both players right now. So PvP, very interesting matchup. It's developed. I think it's one of the matchups which has developed maybe the most over the last, just over time. Little changes, of course, make such a huge impact on the mirrors. Especially the mothership core in PvP and Heart of the Swarm, of course. And I remember the days back in Tal'Darim Alta, and the 4-gate on every single, pretty much every single map, not just Tal'Darim, but PvP was literally just the 4-gate, and then there was the meta game of I'm gonna assume you think I'm 4-gating and do something which, well, I'm gonna assume you're playing defensively against my 4-gate and then try and take advantage, and it was a bit crazy, but it was very fun to watch. So PvP's come a long way, of course. Right now, Stargate opens with Oracle's very popular. Blink opening's fairly popular, probably not on this map though. Openings for expands quite popular too, and we could see anything here. Stargate definitely one of my favourites for Habitation Station, I think, just simply because it's so quick to get over here with an Oracle and to get into the mineral line and start doing damage. So alright, well, these gateways are going to be finishing up for either player right now. I'm going to see a Cybernetic core come down in the back of this mineral line. So nothing too crazy going on right now, just slow opening. This Nexus starts chrono boosting for Cruelty. It's chrono boosting over here for Space Marine as well. Just mirrored builds up till now. Both players got their gases at a fairly similar time. In fact, Cruelty's a little bit ahead on gas, so he got his gas a little bit earlier, in fact. So a little bit of a difference here, and Cybernetic's core timings though are fairly even, within a second of each other, so, or a couple of seconds of each other. So Warp Gate's going to be pretty evenly timed, and there's a mothership core coming out immediately here for Space Marine compared to Cruelty, who actually just opens with a sentry. So Cruelty looking as though he's going to be a bit more of a defensive player here as this probe comes into scout, and he's going to see, well, he's not going to get caught. Not much for him to see just yet, but he may very well see the sentry popping out, and that will tell Space Marine quite a lot about what exactly can take place. Oh, again, doesn't catch it. It tells him quite a lot about what can go on and gets it with the target. With the build right now, seeing this sentry, he knows a couple of possibilities. He's knowing that it's probably going to be some kind of very heavy tech based place that you can use the sentry to defend. It might even be an expansion, because that force field or hallucination is very important, very crucial to finding out what is going on. Space Marine puts up a Twilight Council of his own as his mothership core comes in to try and maybe get a peek into the back of this mineral line, but it looks as though Cruelty has got a probe on the low ground. It looks as though he may just be looking to expand. He's got a lot of gas saved up though. Starts up another Stalker, and if this mothership core for Space Marine comes too far forward, he'll pay the price, but he retreats almost immediately here. Stalker and a probe coming across here for Space Marine. I mean, he's going to be on 3 gateways here in a moment, and Cruelty looking as though he wants to expand, but it's going to be difficult with 3 gateways of units coming towards him. He's going to start up a robo facility now, and Cruelty just not really making the best of his ability. His Stalkers will trade shields. And, I mean, Cruelty's kind of forced backwards here. Now is the Mothership Corps Space Marine coming into the mineral line. But if Space Marine wants, he can start warping in some Stalkers here. His Twilight Council's finished. He's yet to really use it, you know. He isn't researching Blink. He hasn't started up a Twilight Council. In fact, that's probably because Cruelty's Mothership Corps over here, and he's actually doing some pretty decent damage. 6 worker kills already. This is going to force the warp-ins at home, and this is not good at all. And now Recall comes out, so this is actually really nice for Cruelty. He gets 6 worker kills here, and we'd missed the start of that, unfortunately. But this is really nice, and this puts Cruelty into a nice spot. 5 worker lead in a PvP. And he's now going to start Chrono Boosting out Immortals. So by the time the Blink kicks in, which is going to be in quite some time, because you know, he knows about this as well. He's seen this Twilight Council. He's seen what's happening for his opponent. He knows it's probably going to be Blink. Does he have an Observer already? No, but he probably doesn't feel like he needs one, just based on what he's seen. So he's just going to make Immortals in the Twilight Council of his own to basically go Blink Immortal, and this is going to be very nice for him. Now, Warpin is going to come in here for Space Marine, and he does get it before. He does get it before the pylon's killed, but it's not. He still loses the pylon. Not going to be able to push up this ramp. Not with an Immortal here. No way. And Blink is only halfway done, so there's quite some time until he can really do anything here. And I think expanding is definitely his only option right now. He can't really be as aggressive as he would have liked after this opening. And Cruelty, he's already putting down the Nexus of his own, so a good opening in the end here for Cruelty is all going to work out for him as he hallucinates Phoenix, and he's going to be able to scout with this over to his opponent's main base, and just going to check for DT Shrine, and also sees that Blink is researching here, sees the Chrono Boost as well if he was still paying attention, and the Nexus, so again he just knows now exactly what he's playing against. Chocolate milk in the chat. I hope the Protoss wins. A classic joke in a mirror matchup. I hope the Protoss wins too. I actually kind of hope Space Marine wins, just so that we start seeing a bit of a longer series here, because right now Cruelty is just on an absolute stomp through gravity. A few more Stalkers blinking away here once again. And continuing to engage. Now they do have Blink, but this Blink going to mostly be used to just disengage this army. And, you know, with this Immortal and some force fields added in, this is a really kind of powerful army. I mean, he's got some force fields of his own over here. But it looks as though Cruelty's going to keep up this aggression and keep moving forward. He's going to have Blink of his own as well, and that's absolutely huge if you just go in for a fight. However, Photon Overcharge will be available on this Nexus, and that's a big factor as well. A single hallucination once again coming into the main base, always wanting to see what his opponent is up to. He's going to see his opponent's forges a little bit faster than his own. Not too much fast. Well, I guess he doesn't know exactly how much faster it is, but he's probably not going to be too worried about it. And he sees this army at the end of this hallucination's lifetime as well, so does he opt to move in, or does he just set up this kind of soft container on his opponent? He's going to move up the ramp at least. His Blink has finished. He forces a force field, and he's thinking about what he wants to do. He's going to keep fighting here, and he picks off a Stalker, blinks away with one of his own. So Cruelty doing a good job, and really just asserting pressure on his opponent here. Back at home, his +1 is on the way, and that won't be too far off that of Space Marine. So again, it's not that big of a difference. It's going to give Space Marine maybe a slight advantage, maybe enough of an advantage to move out of his base and push Cruelty back. But this Immortal just adds such a punch, especially against these Stalkers. And I mean, Space Marine now has his own Immortal on the way, but Cruelty's one step ahead of him. He's already starting up the Robo Bay. He's going to go into his next kind of branch of his tech tree, and that is the Colossi tech. And this is kind of just, again, just turning out nice for Cruelty. He's already got an Immortal advantage. He's going to build up a Colossi advantage, and we might even see Space Marine maybe going for an Immortal Archon composition instead. No, there's the Robo Bay. I don't really like any kind of non-Colossi composition in PvP on this map, at least, because the major attack path, of course, is this direction. You know, 2 heavy choke points right in the middle of the map. A couple down here. You basically have to fight through multiple choke points to go anywhere. It's very hard to really, I think, make any kind of Immortal Archon composition work. So Robo Bay starts up research and extended thermal lance, and Now Space Marine going to get a hallucination of his own into his opponent's base, and Coolty also just hallucinating around, seeing what's up, and going to fly past the third base, and seeing that not too much is going on in terms of a third base for his opponent right now. Warp Prism for Space Marine, and this is the kind of thing he may need to do to pull himself back in this game just a little bit. That being said, his upgrade advantage is starting to grow even further. 45 seconds ahead now on his +2. Before that is started by Coolty. Of course, that is still just the difference of a couple of Chrono Boosts. So it's still building though. He did forget that for a little while, I feel. And Coolty now supply blocked from losing this pylon. This Warp Prism is sat in the main, and it's not doing anything, and now it kind of backs off. Interesting. Coolty didn't appear to realise that he's moving his mothership core to his main base, so he can now throw an overcharge if he wants to. A hallucinated Void Ray, whether the hallucination was meant to be a Void Ray or not, I guess we will not know. But interesting nonetheless to see the Void Ray moving across the map here. And we'll see if it can... see, well, it's going to see the fifth base coming down, which is nice. Spots the third base, and Coolty will realise this isn't a real Void Ray. He'll know that's a hallucination. And Probe over here for himself may get a pylon up to start harassing into this third base. Not too sure what these guys were attacking. Maybe just another hallucination. Has he already seen the third base? Yes, he has. Just another hallucination going down. This Warp Prism still not being used in this game. I can't help but feel that Space Marine's being a little bit too lax about this. I mean, he invested the time into building this instead of maybe more time on producing an Immortal. And now he's just not doing anything with it unless he goes for some kind of Immortal drops. Picks up his Immortals here and starts dropping them, but very risky considering Blink is on the map, because with Blink on the map, he is going to lift them up. With Blink on the map, you know, the Stalkers, they blink under, they pick off this Warp Prism, boom, 2 Immortals down. That's a big chunk of money or resources and units just lost, gone, not useful at all. And Immortals are the kind of unit which are always good throughout a PvP. You know, you're never going to say, well, the Immortal is really useless here, you know. It's always going to do damage against the Colossi. It's always going to do damage against the Stalkers. You know, it doesn't do so well against the Zealots, but you've got Zealots of your own to tank. It's a real key feature of the Protoss army. So losing 2 of them would really not be a good thing. Would really definitely not be a good thing here. Interestingly, thing to mention: Coolty is about 10 workers up, 73 to 62. And now the upgrades are all even. Charge is going to finish at similar times. Templar Archives coming in for Space Marine. That's just about to finish up here. Have we already got one on the map for Coolty? Yes, we do. So very, very even altogether, apart from the fact that Coolty is now on 4 Colossi against 2 of his opponent. And he's also a whole Robo facility ahead, and that's a big, big factor here. And these Immortals are going to start targeting down immediately this Robo facility, and getting this would be absolutely huge, especially considering it would deny that Colossus. But the Warp Prism going to go down, so what? He essentially delays a Colossi. Bit of a delay there, throwing over charges there. He delays a Colossi at the cost of his Warp Prism and 2 Immortals. I don't think that's worthwhile. I mean, considering that Coolty is already, if that was the only Robo facility, it might have made a difference, but for Coolty, he's already ahead on his Colossi. It's not like Space Marine already has a second Robo facility, so I still think Coolty is in a really good spot here, and he is now maybe moving across the map to do a little bit of damage, moving down this south side to stay out of the vision of his opponent. Should anything be, should an observer be in the middle of the map or something, perhaps, would be a bit weird too. But, for example, something like this, it actually completely misses this hallucination, which is sent out, and this is huge. I mean, Space Marine has no idea. Okay, now he does. You see, he has a Zealot which is being attacked here, but up until then, it's a very delayed spotting of this army. Now, 3 Colossi in the army currently for Space Marine, while we see 4 for Coolty. And Coolty, ooh, a couple of hallucinations here. I'm not sure if we actually have an observer, and we don't. So, them hallucinations could make the difference between Coolty attacking and not attacking right now. +3 is about to finish on either side. Darkshine coming up for Coolty as well. He's always just seems to be one step ahead throughout the game. You know, this time it's going to be getting ready to start harassing in the later game with them Dark Templar. So see what is going to happen. So Warp Prism in the main base cleaned up almost immediately. Them Zealots do absolutely nothing here. Coolty's still just posturing towards this third base. He's actually maxed out, and that's scary. 121 army supply to 84. +3 will just finish here for Space Marine. With a couple of seconds to spare, his hallucinated Colossi have now disappeared, and now it's only 5 Colossi against 3. The Mothership Core comes in and puts a Time Warp down. Stalkers blink forward to start targeting down the Colossi, and I mean, this is just going to be an absolute massacre. Coolty is on an absolute rampage today. He's going to take down everything here. He moves through without any problem at all. And the Colossi count is just way too high. Losing them Immortals as well, a big factor in this, I feel. But altogether, Space Marine, he just didn't have the same economy as Cruelty from the start to the end. And now this third base goes down. And, well, what else is there to say? I mean, these probes are going to go down. GG's called, and Cruelty puts Gravity onto their last player. Now Gravity, if they want to come back here, they're going to have to reverse all kill, and Cruelty is one map off of his own all kill as well. Really tough times for Gravity. It's not every day you see a team pull off a reverse all kill, so they're going to have to pull something special out of the bag here. They've used 3 very good players already. Who will be their 4th? Well, we'll find that out after a quick commercial break, guys, while we get this next map set up. I'll let you guys know in chat as soon as I know what the next player is going to be. So that you don't have to wait for the delay of the stream. So we'll put a bit of music on. Guys, in this commercial break, if you enjoy the stream, do make sure to hit that follow button so you can see when we go live again. We've got games coming up all week this week from the SC2 Improved Team League, so it's going to be pretty awesome. It's going to be tomorrow. I can't actually remember. I think we've got Carnage versus ESC maybe tomorrow. I'm sure we've got Carnage tomorrow. I'm not sure who they're playing. But you can find out all that information on our website as well. But hit that follow button, you can see when we go live anytime with all of the SC2 Improved content. Guys, we'll be right back in a few moments' time with our next and potentially final game of the evening between Vega Squadron and Gravity. Guys, and welcome back to the SC2 Improved Team League Season 2 match between Vega Squadron and Gravity. Currently, Vega Squadron are doing what Vega Squadron do best, quite frankly, and that is walking all over their opponents. Very few teams have been able, and no teams have really been able to challenge Vega Squadron so far this season. And Gravity, I really had hopes for them last week. They beat up Cascade, and I really felt like they were here, they were there, they got the ball rolling. They beat one of the best teams, and then now they play Gravity, and Gravity look as though they're going to continue now they play Vega Squadron. Now it looks as though Vega Squadron will continue to go on unbeaten. So yeah, Gravity, it's unfortunate. I mean, Vega Squadron's a solid team, but I mean, 3-0 is brutal, and if it's 4-0, then it's obviously going to be even more brutal. Kraos is our next player from Gravity. He's a Zerg player. I do believe he's Canadian, but I could be wrong in that. I do definitely believe he's North American, though. And he is going up against Cruelty on Waystation, our map. So let's see what spawns we get here as we load on into Waystation. Between these 2 players, Cruelty and Kraos. If you're just joining us from the Nation Wars, which has just ended for tonight, then thanks for tuning in. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you guys enjoyed the Nation Wars. Hope your country's advanced onwards. I know Space Marine, who just lost, wasn't too happy about the game he played earlier. But nonetheless, here we are in now our 4th match of the night. Currently, it stands 3-0 against the player representing Gravity. In the bottom right hand in the top right hand corner, it's Kraos. On the lower side, it's going to be Cruelty from Vega Squadron, and I'm going to have PVZ now. Now that we've got PVZ, I wonder if Chocolate Milk once again here is going to want the Protoss to win. Do you, man? Do you? Let me know if you do. The Protoss supporter in our chat. So PVZ, we're going to see this Overlord immediately here, moving across the map. Moving across, going to head over. Of course, only 2 places that these guys can spawn. Well, only 1 place that opponents can spawn based on where you spawn. And we do have the short positions here, which, I mean, honestly, I just don't like this map. Like, it's just so weird. I mean, you get the long positions, then you're in for this kind of long, mega long game where you just cannot break your opponent because of the fact there's literally no attack paths. Or you get short positions and there's literally 1 attack path, but everything hits you within 5 seconds of leaving your opponent's base, and you're like, well, this also sucks. So, honestly, I really don't like this map. Maybe watching more games of it in GSL and WCS EU, which is starting next week, them kind of things, you know, maybe you'll see some games that I really do enjoy a bit more. But right now, I really, really don't like this. This feels like one of these maps where they're like, hey, let's make a boring map and try and make it awesome by putting some kind of weird feature in it, which makes it different. And it's kind of like, well, this kind of just actually sucks, man. This isn't good at all. Alright, well, Cruelty, he's going to scout across the map. He's going to see it's a hatch first from his opponent, which is going to work out just well, fine for Kraos, because Cruelty is going for a gateway expand. So, gas hatch first is the nice way to spawn pull down. A gas coming up as well. And just this very standard response to a gateway expansion so far. Nothing really else to say so far. So let's talk a bit about these positions. They're close positions. Again, I've kind of already told you how close they are. So right now we have the natural of one player in the upper right there, and the natural of the other player, if you put it in the bottom left, it kind of is just about 2 screens away. So we're kind of talking about 2 screens away. It's not, it's not that short, but it's kind of it's very dull, because everything is going to come at you either here or here, because otherwise it's going to come around the long way, and it's like, well, third base makes things a little bit more interesting, I suppose, but it's not the easiest third base to hold. If things do start coming around the long way and attacking in here for pros play, it can be quite difficult. I mean, this is a pretty tight choke point, so you're basically going to be, I suppose, having something up here to spot, something just here to kind of spot as well. Maybe just position your army about here, and you can defend both locations quite easily. For the Zerg, I mean, the bases are okay once you get the creep over there to defend a little bit more. And have we lost sound? No, we haven't. Have we lost music? Okay, it was all set okay. Just seemed oddly quiet for a moment, but I guess that's because I was looking at empty places on the map. A couple of Zerglings here are going to go down, and they're going to be... well, this one's actually going to get by. It's going to spot the expansion coming up, but... I mean, there's really not too much you can realistically learn in this main base. I mean, you've gateway expanded and you're on 2 gases, like, whoop-de-doo. So not really too much this Zerglin can learn right now. It's going to escape around this left-hand side, but not until this sentry into mothership core will finally shut that down. So Zerglin doesn't see too much of interest. A Forge now coming up at the front, and that's definitely something that's interesting, but will not be spotted for a little while here, unless a couple more Zerglings come out, and we do see 10 Zerglings on the way. Alright, interesting. So 10 more Zerglings on the way, a couple of drones as well, so he's not over-committing to Zerglings at all. He's just making a few in case a little bit of an attack comes across, considering he doesn't have any kind of map control right now. He's got speed as well, so, it's not the worst thing. He's got this third base on his way as well, so, just a very slow third base, not rushing out too quickly. It's not that slow, but, it's reasonably timed. And Mothership Kowachi moving out, these Zerglings coming across the map here straight away, and they're just going to take the watchtower, make sure nothing's here. Now going to poke the front, and now they'll see this Forge, and they'll know. They'll also maybe... Okay, I don't know where the Stargate is just yet, but they're going to see this Forge. That's actually a complete wall-off, wow. Thought there might have been a... Okay, there's definitely not a gap there. If I'm just looking at it here with this still moving, it looks as though there might have been a gap there, but nope, this is a complete wall-off. Very interesting, means that we're going to have to see Kulti take down one of his pylons if he really wants to move out here. Things turn away once again. And Stargate is spotted in the main base, so it's just in the main. This Overlord scouts it pretty easily, and a Phoenix is coming out. It's kind of nice seeing that seeing the Stargate come down. It means he can get the Spore Crawlers up immediately. He's going to take very limited damage, but the Phoenix will still do damage. They'll still find a hole here, a hole there, get a couple of drones. Maybe the workers on gas, take a bit of damage on their shields, and they're going to get these Overlords as well out on the map. Probably go get us one over here. I'd be surprised if he didn't check over there. There we have it. So he's going to get himself a couple of Overlords. It's actually supply blocks cross, and this is really bad. He's only got 1 Overlord in production as well. Now he starts up a couple more, so not the best of times to be supply blocked, but not the worst of times. I mean, it's never a good time to be supply blocked, is what I'm trying to say. So it's not it's not actually the worst time to be supply blocked. I mean, it's not like he's under attack or anything right now. Missing a couple of injects though as he starts up some more spores, starts up his +1 missiles. His Legis finishes as well, so right now we're going to see what kind of tech he's going to go for. Immediately starts his Gallery Constitution roach speed on the agenda. Is he going to invest in a Hydralisk Den? Earlier today we saw the straight into the Swarm Host play. It's a very small map. Do Swarm Hosts work well on a small map? I guess so. I mean, they put on pressure immediately, but you don't really have very far to retreat with them, and it's kind of awkward if you go between here and here, because with the Swarm Hosts, I feel like you always kind of want to push forward, not side to side to defend things, so I don't think that's the best map for Swarm Hosts, and we actually see a Spire coming down, which, yeah, there's a Stargate, but Muta Corruptor play has become so strong lately. We've been seeing it a lot more frequently, and on a big map like this, despite the initial spawn positions being short rush, it's still a large map, and Muta Corruptor works very well on large maps, of course. I mean, you can take all the bases, you can really assert dominance in the air, And interested to see how Coolty may try and deflect this. Right now, I don't think he's actually seen that spy. No, he's not been in the main base just yet. He's just flying around. Yeah, he misses an opportunity to maybe pick off a couple of workers. Ooh, is he going to get a queen? Them queens. He could get one. He's out of range of the spore crawlers, and he will. And this second queen is also out of range of the spore crawlers, so this isn't too good for Gravity Gravity's Kratos right now. He's going to lose both of his queens on this third base, and I mean, just kind of unnecessarily as well. He's going to lose some of his drones on the gas as well, just picking up out of the range of that, or just in range of the spore crawler. Takes a little bit of damage. Continues to produce Phoenix up to 6. Now goes into Robo unit production. Immortals getting a Robo Bay up for Colossi. Neither of them actually going to be that useful against Corruptors initially here. Okay, so Corruptors and now the Muters coming up. So neither of Immortals or Colossi are going to be that useful against, of course, these units which are coming out here. Now, a couple of Colossi might be nice against any kind of ground units. And, but really what he would really like is just upgrade and blink, and maybe even a Templar Archives to get Storm out and Darkons. So we'll see what happens. 2 Robos. I don't see 2 Robos. Maybe he cancels one. We do see, ooh. Wow, I've actually completely neglected to mention he's taking the third base over here. Wow. So I actually completely ignored the, I actually completely ignored the fact that there are islands on this map, and we are seeing them be utilized here. And against Meteor Corruptor, it's kind of interesting because this island base has to completely rely on the defense in the air now if it is spotted. So this is kind of risky for Coolty right now. I mean, he's got a single cannon on the way up, and he's going to have to go into Phoenix production here to try and just keep fending these units away. Already these Muters are going to start finding a target here, so sorry for not mentioning that third base until very, very late on, but does transfer quite a few workers over there. Corruptor's really forcing where the Muters, where these Phoenixes can be and where they can't be, and fighting them away right now as these Muters are doing a lot of damage. They're going to pick off a fair few of these units, and Throw and Overcharge comes down. We see a Fleet Beacon on the way, no second Stargate just yet though, and Blink on the way as well. And this Robo, I think he cancelled the Robo Bay, did he? No, he let that finish in fact, but not using it just yet. More important things to invest in right now is Kraus kind of going crazy. He's got 4 bases up, pretty much uncontested. There's a Warp Prism over here. And that would actually be a huge thing right now if he actually used this Warp Prism. Warped a bunch of Zealots and attacked. But Muses are on the way back looking as though they're going to come over here and just clean this up. So, I mean, it buys him time though. He now has time to get his Anti Impulse Crystals out. He'll get his second Stargate up. He'll be able to build a lot more of an air army up and get ready for the next time this attack comes forward. So this Warp Prism wasn't completely useless despite dying without actually warping anything at all. Definitely could have done more. But hey, at least the Mutalisk's on in his base right now. Interesting seeing Infestation Pit come down. I suppose we're probably going to see Infestors added into the composition. You know, a couple of Infestors added in is so amazing. To lock down a Phoenix on the a fungal on these Phoenixes is absolutely huge, and that's definitely a possibility here. As Muters and Corruptors moving forward once again, looking for a way to do a little bit of damage. Phoenixes fought back for now, and Mothership Core is going to go down. Gets a Throw and Overcharge off though, just in time. Blink has finished, but there's not really that many Stalkers here to really contest forwards, and the mutant numbers continue to rise. Ooh, these Phoenixes are going to engage here. And we have a bit of a fight going on in a couple of places. The Corruptors not really in the best of locations. These Phoenixes doing a lot of damage to the Mutalisks, in fact. And Cross fought back for now. A couple more shots going down here. These Phoenixes can continue to kite, of course, with them Anti-Impulse Crystals. We actually have 3 Stargates up as we see 3 Phoenixes in production at a time here. Charge Lots on the way as well, and there's that Pathogen Glands as well, looking to invest into the Infestors. Now turn around on the Corruptors, pick off a Phoenix, but a lot of Corruptors going down with these Phoenixes in their extended range. Outranging the Corruptors, and that is not good, as the Mutalisk's going to come down to the south. Another base being established here for Chris. This is the kind of thing you really need to do, just bases everywhere, get a lot of gas income. You can see right now, he's got minerals, but really does lack gas. A few Zerglings here, not really going to be able to do too much, I don't feel. Not yet, at least, as these Phoenixes actually spend time lifting up these Zerglings. I'm not sure if that's a decent use of energy. Muters and Corruptors are back in position in this main base. Don't quite get that pylon, 2 HP. That's the second pylon which has survived on 2 or 3 health. And these Phoenixes once again just fighting here, just going to try and trade against whatever they can. Trading really effectively so far, actually, I feel. You know, he's always he's losing a couple of Phoenixes here and there, but he's always killing off Corruptors. He's always killing off Mutalisks. And, well, now these Phoenixes are just going to stick around. And again, you know, Cruelty doesn't want to overcommit too far, especially now the Infestors are coming up on the map. I'm not too sure if he'll know about the Infestors just yet. No, he doesn't know about that just yet, but you know, he'll be assuming that something that all Zerg players like to do with this composition is to include these Infestors. And you know, right now there's you know, he knows the possibility of them is there, and he doesn't want to move out and get caught by them. Moves out a little bit though, as he does want to start establishing a fourth base. You know, he can't hide inside his main base forever. Both players are actually maxed out here, and Kratos, his bank is mostly mineral based right now, which isn't too awesome. This base here is finally up and running with, but he has his gases slightly missaturated. As Fungal Growth catches a few of these Phoenixes, another one comes down, and we could see another one maybe, but there's a lot of army on the ground as well, so these Infestors would die if they were to continue going forward. And well, what's going to happen here? There's a lot of Zerglings, but the Phoenixes are doing a good job so far. It looks as though Cruelty is going to stop pushing forward until he gets his pylon up. A lot more Infestors coming in. The Zerglings are going to launch a counterattack. This fourth base is an open target right now. Or maybe they're just going to come in for the wraparound. That's exactly what's going to happen here. And, I mean, if Fungal Growth comes down, but is it going to matter? I mean, these Zealots are just doing so much damage against these Zerglings. And now these Phoenixes are just going to come in. Are they going to pick up the Infestors? No, they're not. They get fungled in range of these Corruptors, but I mean, they're just going to slowly pick off all of these anyway. Infestor with energy is picked up here. A couple more Infestors continue to come forward, but look at the number of Zealots. Kratos is just overrun. Cruelty is going to do it. He's going to get his all kill here. GG called. 4-0 Vega Squadron. Just looking unbeatable today. Absolutely unbeatable. Gravity, a solid fight. I mean, the first game was fantastic. I mean, all the games